Hi there, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my channel. I am continuing with my Merry Christmas in July series, and this is project number 2. So I bought these night lights a while ago, and they've been sitting in my to do something with pile, and I decided to use it with this series. I'm going to add glitter to the back of the clear panel on these night lights, or on this night light, using Mod Podge and also some red glitter. So we cleaned our craft room, or the closet in the command center, a while ago, and I had a lot of glitter. And I use the term had because I actually put a lot aside, because I had like 2 or 3 bottles of red, 2 or 3 bottles of blue, and I thought, nobody needs this much glitter. So I have a really good kind of trash to treasure pile that I donate a lot to schools, because I do work for our local school district, so it's easy for me to donate when I have lots of extra supplies. So anyhow, I felt really good about using glitter. So basically what I did is I used a sponge, and I sponged the Mod Podge all over the back of this nightlight, and then I sprinkled some glitter to cover as much as possible on that first layer. I'm definitely going to do 2 layers, and I want it to completely dry between layers, because once I kind of like what am I trying to get some of that loose glitter off, I put another layer of Mod Podge, and that kind of seals that existing glitter on there, but then also it's giving me some glue so I can put another layer on. And basically you want to do more than one layer, because even though it looks like I'm completely covering this area, there still will be little portions that didn't get glitter, and it's really hard to tell when it's loose, but once you kind of flick it a little bit like I'm doing there and get some of that glitter off, you can really tell when there's spots that you missed. So I'm just using my finger right now because it's not completely dry, but I'm just kind of going over the edge, because I don't want the glitter going over the edge. And then you saw me earlier tape up the like the outlet, the little pokey things. I don't even know what that's called, the plug, I guess. So I didn't want glitter on that area either. So for now, I'm just going to use that tray, which is from Queen & Company, and this really fun fan brush, which I bought at an expo years ago for this exact reason. And then I'm pushing it over to, you see how it has that funnel right there? And then I'm going to just put that right back into the container and not get glitter everywhere. But as you know, when you're working with glitter, it does get everywhere. And what I decided to do is on the front of this nightlight, so as that's being set aside to dry, I went to Cricut Design Space, and I'm finding a image of a Santa cam or Santa camera. I thought that would be really super cute to put near the Christmas tree, or somewhere near a Christmas tree, so that Santa is spying on, the kids to make sure they're nice and not naughty. So I just grabbed one. Basically, they're all about the same. Some of them have little holes or little circles a little bit differently, but I kind of really focused on the fonts, and so I followed a font that I liked. So originally, I changed that Santa cam to a red font, because that's what I was thinking. I wanted a different color, but you'll see later that was not a good idea, because that red glitter and red font or vinyl, you really couldn't see it. So one of the new features with Cricut Design Space is now when you hit make, it'll tell you, do you want me to save it or not? And I didn't want to save this because it wasn't anything that I did special to it. I just took the image and then cut it, so I wasn't worried about that. Another thing I did is, even though they're 2 different mats because they're 2 different colors, I moved the red portion of the mat over to that same black mat, and then just kind of adjusted the image to a different area, so I knew I would put my red vinyl there where it was cutting. I hope that makes sense. So this is actually the next day. I let that sit overnight. I'm using my weeding tool to pick off some of that glitter that was just kind of everywhere where I didn't want it, which was near the plug and also around the edges. And that worked actually really well. And I just kind of peeled it off for the paint to be removed. And of course the glitter went with it. And now I'm using my weeding tool to obviously weed the images. So one thing I don't show you, and I didn't think about it when I was putting the camera on top of that blank image. Now, just to make sure, in case you didn't realize it, I'm not putting this vinyl on the glitter. It's on the opposite side, which is actually the front side of this nightlight. So as I was weeding, I realized I didn't clean the top of that or the front of that with alcohol. So I did that again, just using a sponge. And then I'm going to let that dry while I'm weeding this other area. But, again, very, very simple weeding, very simple project, but oh so fun. And just in case you're wondering, so that little piece of sponge that I use now, when we were down in the time where we all had to wear masks, or in some cases, some people wore shields, there was that foam area that kind of sat on your forehead that took the shield away from your actual skin. So when all those requirements went away, I saw at my stores that those shields were like, next to nothing. And so I bought a bunch of them because I cut down the sponges for different things. And then the shield, because it's basically like, not acrylic, but acetate, I save those for when I make like shaker tags and things like that. So that was a really cheap way to do something like that. So if you've got a bunch of those laying around, don't throw them out. So I mentioned that I did the letters in red, and you probably noticed you cannot see those red letters. So I cut them again in white, and I just put it right over the red. So the red gives it a little shadow effect. And then, like pretty sure I started to mention and then changed my mind, I did end up doing a white circle under that black camera because that kind of got lost a little bit too. And you'll see it at the end pictures. And then, of course, because glitter does get everywhere, I used the back of that transfer sheet and just picked up all that loose glitter. But I hope you like this. Make sure you stick around for project number 3 for this week of Christmas in July. Thanks for watching.